And let's do this. Welcome, 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 everybody. It is so great to see each and every one of you. It is Saturday, August 15th, noon p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern, or whatever time it happens to be where you are because you are watching us right now. It is time for Ask Us Anything. This is kind of an open ask anybody in our community anything that you'd like. And it's very simple to do. What you do is you can use the meeting chat here in Zoom. And that's the one way that we communicate back and forth. So type your question, if you will, in the meeting chat, or maybe a comment that you'd like us to discuss. Either way, type that in the meeting chat and we'll answer it on your behalf in the order in which we receive it. The other way, which is, of course, what we prefer, we like one-on-one interaction here, is put your cursor in the middle of the screen where you see my face. On the bottom, there's a bunch of buttons. One of those is raise hand. Click on that button, and then we'll call on you in the order in which we receive your request. It is that simple, and that's the whole idea of Ask Us, our community, our people, anything. Before we get started, I would very much like to share something with everybody that Robert posted earlier today. And it's a really great quote, and especially as it relates to community. Here's what he posted earlier. Surround yourself with the dreamers and the doers, the believers and the thinkers, and those who see greatness within you, even when you don't see it yourself.
Very good, Craig.
Well, very good, Robert. I mean, that is an incredible quote, and it's a great way to get us started here on our Ask Us Anything Saturday. So, without further ado, allow me to introduce the gentleman behind Ask Us Anything. He is an amazing mentor, a GPS to success. He's helped over 65 people become millionaires. He is a leader, a visionary, and most important, a dear friend. Ladies and gentlemen, Robert Hollis!
Craig, the hostess with the mostest, thank you so much for all you do. I really, really, really appreciate you. And thank you, Shelly and Melody and Faith and Dustin and Deborah and Mary. And man, we got like 3 Deborahs on here. Deborah Grady, hi, Lisa Marie, Michael and Angela, Coach Bob and Ben. Thank you guys so much. My lovely wife, Terry, is hanging out with her friend today. Jolie. So here we are. So I love always sharing something with you guys at the beginning before we do and Ask Us Anything. And I was sharing with Craig a little bit about a lot of stuff that I've been studying recently. And one of the things that I think that keeps us where we are is very simply not sharing with others. It's just not opening up our mouth and sharing whatever with anybody. And I know that a lot of you know that I talk about planting seeds. This is the way I look at it. But from every personal development speaker, Coach Bob sent me a picture of a person today, and I was like, my old buddy, Og Mandino. You know what I mean? And one of the things that I've always noticed of a lot of people that when they talk, they're always talking about if you're seeking and you find information that you hear wisdom, and then it sort of like goes, that really, really helped me. One of the things I know for a fact is I used to hear this years ago, and it's so true. If you ever want to remember somebody's name, all you got to do is use it 3 times during your conversation with them. So if you just go, and your name is, my name is Bob Johnson. You know what I mean? And you just, great to meet you, Bob. If you don't mind me asking, Bob, where are you from? Bob, what do you do for work? This will blow your guys' mind. Guess what the number one thing that people love to hear? They've done studies about this, and it's true. People love to hear their name. So what you did is you made it so you'll remember their name, but you also basically said their name 3 times. Well, where I first heard of this, and it works really, really well, is if you've heard a joke. So if you hear a joke or you hear something that really, really like is an aha moment for you, immediately find 3 people to share it with. Now, I know that sharing on social media does not do that same thing I just shared with you. Because people would remember a lot of things. It's very simply connecting with people. People don't care what you know unless they know that you care. And what you need to do is if you come up with something to openly go out and share with people. I love using audio messages, as you guys know, but it's like always, 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 go out there and share with people. Because again, if you consistently plant seeds, you will get a harvest. You will. So it doesn't make a difference if you're planting very simple. And so my key to success has always been that until I got the confidence, until I got courage, until I became brave, until I became bold. Hi, Jim. Before I became the things I needed to become successful, then what I did is I got really good at just telling stories. I don't know. All I know is story. So when you're telling people stories about something that can really give them an aha moment, they not only remember you, but you do this connection and then you go out there and you just keep moving. So, the first thing for me, of course, was the greatest miracle in the world. So when I read this book, it emotionally impacted me so much that I knew that if each and every day, if I found a way, which I always have, to go out and share what that book has done for me personally to other people, that I'm always, 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 always planting seeds. Does that make sense? So a person that is successful would never know, I'll say it this way. If you decided that farming was going to be the way that you were going to make money, you'd never not plant seeds. You would never not stop preparing the ground. That is just something that you do every day. And what I notice about people that really don't know what kind of harvest they want, what they consistently do is they do stuff like they're working for somebody, that they're on a job. And so then they go do those things, and then, hey, I'm off at 5, I'm out of here on Friday, and I'm going to enjoy my weekend. But for you to have something that, and I'm giving the title away tomorrow, but I'm not going to go any further. But tomorrow for the Master's Mind, the title is going to be Heaven on Earth. And so what a lot of people don't realize is that when you get this figured out, you don't have to wait to go to heaven. You can actually live heaven right on earth. And there's a lot of people that might not believe that, but I can guarantee you that they feel like they've spent hell on earth. So it is pretty hilarious where people always talk about what's the big deal about heaven. Really, honestly, heaven is just us using hope. It allows us to have hope for the future. It allows us to imagine a day in the future that we can't wait to experience. So until then, what if a person could figure out how to live heaven on earth? And for some of you that are really, really, really close to me, you guys would know I do. I really, truly feel like the luckiest person on the planet because of my faith and belief and imagination, where I consistently can put things together to just keep reaping a harvest over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. So there's a nice opening statement for you. Thank you, Star and Shelley, for jumping on here. I don't know if I got to say hi to Faith and Dustin and Mary, but Lisa Marie, Jim, thanks for jumping on here. And now what we'll do is we'll do Ask Us Anything.
Sounds like a plan. We've got a couple of questions here.
All right.
And Melody has started us off with two questions, but okay, good. Deborah Bronner, you're going to be coming up. So once again, just to let everybody know, very simple to participate here in our Ask Us Anything Saturday. Go ahead and put your cursor in the middle of the screen where you see our lovely faces. On the bottom, there's a button that says Raise Hand. Click on that button, and we'll call on you in the order in which we receive your request. Or, like what Melody has done, go ahead and pose your question in the chat. Now, what I love is what Melody did is she put a question mark right in front of her comment. So it's like, boom, I can very easily pick out that as being a question or even a comment, either way. But the whole idea is we're here to answer whatever questions you may have, or at least get close to an answer to help you find out. So that's how we do Ask Us Anything. So Deborah Bronner, you're coming up. Melody, first question from Melody is how do you know when it's time to keep pushing versus when God may be redirecting you?
Melody, that is an awesome, awesome question. This is one where, this is one that's really, really, I do things to really see if the direction's right. So what I do, Melody, and what I suggest to others is, of course, being in deep prayer, really, really, if I'm really needing a decision, I'm not ashamed. I'll ask and I'll continue to ask and continue to ask. And the thing for me that I always can tell is that it's not that we have to tell everyone what we're doing, right? A lot of things that I'm doing, that sometimes don't work for me is things that I never ever share with anyone. But what I do is I lean into a thought or a subject or something that I think that I'm being called to do. And because I'm looking for it, I immediately experience like no resistance. I experience no resistance, and it just seems to go together so well. And another thing that I realize is it starts taking up a lot of my thought. It's like there's so many things that we try to do every day and we try to do every week and every year. But what is something that consistently just keeps popping up in your mind all the time? It's like I notice that things that I should stop pushing doing is like when I get up in the morning, it's not even on my mind. And then as I'm going through the day, Melody, it's like when it does come to my mind, it's not a good feeling. It's like all of a sudden it's like, oh, I should be doing this. I should be doing stuff toward this. You know what I mean? And it's like you don't even realize it, but if you would realize it, you would realize that that's not done with very much enthusiasm and thesos, God within, this little light of mine. I'm going to let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. I got joy, joy, joy down in my heart. Where? Down in my heart. Where? It's like you just immediately, and that's where people get sort of confused as well, because I know that Deborah, when all of a sudden she had this thing come to her where she's going to, market her grandson's puzzles. I know that it's sort of like came out of left field. It wasn't that she never thought about it or never brought it up. She had, you know what I mean? But then all of a sudden, it not only came up, but then all the obstacles and resistance that she thought she would have disappeared. Man, if that's not a sign, I don't know what a sign is. Because sometimes we get excited about the thought of doing something, but as we're thinking about it, we start putting things together. They're not only not fun, we feel resistance and we seem to keep getting distracted to do something than finish that project. And so that's what I would say, Melody, is just really, really feel within yourself that for some reason, like for me, because I get so excited about doing something that I'll get so excited on focus on it. And I'm not saying that this is for you. I know that God created me very uniquely. Um, it's like I do not have one thought about school at all. How can I not work, build with school for a year, and then instantaneously, it's not something I ever think about? Are you guys following me? I like, I'm one of those guys that actually will go up in the windows where you save your tabs and I'll grab it and I'll pull it down on the side where I don't even see it anymore. It's like it's I don't know why that dried up so fast for me, but it's just what it is. And I think I shared with all of you, Melody, that and you guys that when Matt reached out to me, and believe it or not, I know that Matt brought up that he could create unlimited wisdom doing what he does before I even started with school. So now you sort of get mad at yourself, right? You're going like, "Hey, have you seen school?" And I guarantee you, Matt went over and looked at it and go, "Yeah, I could recreate something like that, if not better." And it's like, "No, you're busy right now. Let me not listen." But there was always something when I was promoting school. It was always something like, there's stuff that's not it's out of my control. I can't figure out this. We can't create a leaderboard. I wish this and this happened. And, it was just really, really interesting that it was something that I went and posted on that I interacted with. I think it was a awesome schedule, you know what I mean, in a calendar. It was a great place to store replays. And Craig did such a phenomenal job over there. But once I seen Unlimited Wisdom, with what Matt created, it was like instantaneously. You know what I mean? How many of you know what I'm talking about? It was like, wow. So do I say that things are wrong? No. Maybe me getting prepared to do something, got us to here. Maybe there's a lot of stuff that Matt maybe couldn't have done. So I hope that answers your question, Melody. For me, it really, really is prayer, asking. And then thirdly, it really is about me opening up my consciousness and awareness to really, really see if I'm seeing or feeling any kind of resistance. I know that I've shared this analogy with you guys before, but before GPS, if any one of you have ever taken a road trip, and so you get out and you start driving, right? And all of a sudden it's like you're looking around and you're going, am I going the right direction? I haven't really seen a sign or anything that makes me think I'm going in the right direction. And then all of a sudden, depending on who's in the car, it's like, well, I don't know if this feels good. Maybe we should pull over at the next gas station. And you actually don't even realize it, but you're actually slowing down your speed. Isn't that weird? It's like instead of doing, 85, you're doing 84. No, I'm joking. But it's like you're slowing down because you're questioning yourself. And then all of a sudden you see a sign that says X amount of miles to where you're going, and it's like, boom, boom. So uh I hope that helped.
All right. Melody, thank you. And we may have another question from her coming back in a couple minutes. Deborah Bronner
I love
had.
what she said. I love what she said. You know, it's you're absolutely correct.
Mhm.
It is peace. You know, you're just moving towards something and it just seems more peaceful instead of, you know, chaos.
And prior to that, she pointed out that school was a stepping stone.
Yeah, totally.
And, that's something that you've always shared with us, Robert, is that each period of time that brings us to this point in time, to today, is a stepping stone for what is going to be taking place down the road.
Yeah, yeah. In my whole journey in life, regardless of things happen in my career or my life that were bad, I always look at them as blessings. They're blessings, and I'm fortunate that those things happen to make me who I am today. You know, it makes me aware of some other things that have happened, and like you guys, I've had some really, really not very nice things happen to me, and you know, and some people can look at those and go, it stops them from trying, you know, and they're skeptical and they're always looking at, you know, the bad, you know, well, this one time, you know, and on a personal level with Lisa Marie, you know, it's like now she can always say, well, you know, I decided to try something and I almost doubled my money. That's a great reference point to come from instead of someone took me for X amount of money. You know what I mean? So I can get up the bat again and I can swing and I can get a home run. And so yeah, it's pretty awesome. So
Uh,
Deborah, I seen your hand up. I don't know if
yeah, she's coming up next, and then Coach Bob has her hand up, and Deborah, do you want me to include you? Because I know you kind of had something in mind, Deborah Grady. Um, I'll put you on the list, Deborah. So, yeah, very good. All right, she put her hand up. So, great. We'll go ahead and keep going. Deborah Bronner, though, is first. Deborah, thank you so much for your patience. Let's get to it. Open up and please share with us.
Happy Saturday, everyone.
happy Saturday to you.
Um, I just had to be on this call. I'm excited what you said about tomorrow, heaven on earth, because I know I don't want to talk about my injuries, but today I got to go to the 24-hour fitness swimming pool. And
Nice.
oh my God, just to push through every pain and everything. And the pool water felt so great. And my caregiver and I were in there and just praising God. And then I had one of those noodles under me and kicking and moving every part of my body. And honest to God, when you said heaven on earth, that's what I felt like. I felt like all of me was thank you, God, for this. Thank you, Jesus, for giving me the endurance and perseverance to press through in spite of my injuries and enjoy the feeling of the water. But I never felt so peaceful than today in the water. And
Awesome. Thanks for sharing.
I just had to share that I'm looking forward to what you're going to say tomorrow, but I'm just staying in the joy, joy, joy of Jesus.
There.
And I met
Yeah.
a new lady there, and she's from Iraq, and she's a real Christian. And even she taught her to talk about God and stuff in the pool, and for some reason, but you know, Michelle, my worship girl, she always sings the joy of the Lord. The joy of the Lord is my strength. And
Yep.
I sang that in 24-hour fitness swimming pool today. And I don't sing. I don't know what came over me, but I sang that to the lady while we're in the water. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't sing out loud ever. So
Well,
I'm in
remember,
a real good place, and I really wanted to share it.
good. Remember that. Remember that because
Absolutely. Like the picture I
most of the
showed you of
time
my
we,
birthday out at the beach. You
yeah.
know, it's neat you have photos to remember those real special times. But if you can stay connected, really close with God, you're right, Robert. Miracles, and you can be in that peace and joy, joy, joy of
Yep.
Jesus. It's just not letting all this other stuff distract you.
Yeah, and that's what it does. That's
And
exactly what
Melody,
it
I
does.
loved your question. That was nice. But because of you, I've experienced peace that I had never felt. Well, it's because of Jesus, but you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
just trying
We
to
forget we
get you
forget
to
to ask
focus.
sometimes. We forget to let go and let God. We sometimes
Absolutely. And you know what? I so love unlimited wisdom. My glasses here still don't work. I'm getting a new prescription on Tuesday to see online stuff. I
good.
had my caregiver read me everything, but I've got to, soon as I get see on Tuesday the new prescription, I'm so excited that I'll be able to participate in unlimited wisdom more,
You
because
do
what
such
a
a
great
great.
community it is. It's just
Yeah.
awesome. You know,
I
and
love you.
kudos to Deborah Grady. On my birthday, she did uh, AI thing of you and I, Robert, that said happy birthday. And that was just so sweet. Our community, we all love one another, and it's great.
Yes.
Yeah, and support one another. So I just wanted to say thank you, Deborah
Thank
Grady.
you.
And thank you, Robert, for all you do. I
I
mean,
love you. I
I
love you. I
love
love you.
you. And so I just wanted to check in. I love
Thank
everybody
you.
on
Thank
this
you.
group.
I
And
appreciate it.
I've
Made
Coach
my
Bob,
day.
I've never talked to in person. I so want to, but I love everything he's been saying on these calls too.
Yeah,
Thank you.
he's a
That's it.
champion for sure.
Absolutely. Everyone on here is.
Yep. Thank you, Deborah.
Uh huh.
Thank you, Deborah. Wow. Love it, love it, love it. Okay. I'm gonna go with Deborah Grady, and then we got another question from Melody, and then Coach Bob. So that's the
Okay.
order that I have right now. So Deborah, there you go. Unmute yourself and please share with us.
Hi. Thank you, Deborah Bronner. That was so sweet of you. But I just love doing that anytime. I just love, making graphics. I made my grandson a bunch about golf this morning because, but yeah, it's my pleasure. I asked you a question. I'm trying to find it, Greg. I addressed it to you. So this morning when I went on our community, we had a new little community, and then it mentioned about ask us anything is today, and then it asked us a question, and then we answered. And I'm just wondering how that works. Are we answering that on here, or does that go to
do
just
you do you
Robert?
re, do you remember that question?
Yes, I think I do.
Okay, why don't you just ask it?
Okay, let me see. The question, yeah, I forget. Okay, I was having a senior moment for a moment. But anyway, so the question was today when I went to go make my post for Facebook, the first thing that comes to my mind is, promote unlimited wisdom first. So I went on there and I'm making my post, and I just integrated about unlimited wisdom into my post about whatever I wanted to say today, whatever I was talking about.
Okay.
And then I said, okay, well, let me get ready for my 3 o'clock, blah, 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 unlimited wisdom. I threw it in there. So my question is how can we go about promoting? What are some other, I want to hear some other ideas and examples, and
Yeah.
so that we can really promote
There's
because
yeah,
it's
there's
not an
nothing
affiliate program.
yeah,
So
there's nothing easier to promote something than your personal testimony. So always, always, always just be
yeah,
saying your
that's
story,
easy.
saying your story. If I was talking about this book, and again, I get to do a shout out to Mary for getting me the original copy. It's like, and I get right to the point. I get to the point very, very quickly. Is I just say, hey, listen, during a very dark time in my life, I had someone told me to read a book called The Greatest Miracle in the World. And when I read that book, it not only touched my heart, but it changed my whole thinking about who I am and who I am in the world.
Yeah.
And I just know that this book would really, really help. I still do this, it's natural. I still say, I know this book would really do amazing for people that that are struggling right now.
Hmm. Well,
And and
I've
and
done
and
that
the,
a lot.
yeah, and the reason that I always use a third person is it's like the funny one I always use with people is when you're talking about weight, right? You would never walk up. I would never walk up to someone and say, Deborah, I noticed you could lose a few pounds. See what I mean? It's like She told me I was number one. That's funny. Um, and I deserved it. It's like it's the whole thing where I just say, "Hey, Deborah, my wife or someone has tried this," and I always say their little success story because people love stories. People love stories, love stories, love stories. A lot of people that have difficulty building a relationship with God or Jesus is because they're being too logical and the way that they read the Bible or they hear things instead of making it into a story. If you make it into a story, then everything just changes. I'll give you guys a neat example on that one thing. As this guy said, he named the name of the king, so I apologize for not knowing, but he was like a king of a very, very large empire. And someone came to him and said, "Listen, we notice people are stealing from the gold. They're stealing treasury." And he says, "Well, let's immediately tell people that if they don't stop, they're going to get X amount of lashes, right?" And they continue to steal, and he just kept raising it. He just kept going, now they're going to get this, now they're going to get this. And then all of a sudden the king goes, "I'm done." They get 40 lashes, which usually is death. It's just a death sentence if you get 40 lashes, right? And then all of a sudden they found out it was his daughter, the princess. So now the rest of the world, the rest of the kingdom and everything is going like, how is he going to do? Because based on who you are, and I seen another Deborah talk about integrity and who you are, they all were going, let's really see if he punishes her that way, right? And so she came up in front of the king. He said that I said you're going to get 40 lashes, so you will. And then they took her out to where she was going to square so everyone could see her punishment. And so all of a sudden, the guy that does this, they hooked her up on the rack and grabbed the last thing, whatever, the whip or whatever, and they were just about ready to do it. And the king said, "Stop." And that's when everybody went, "Yeah, I sort of knew this was going to happen," right? And then what the king did is he took off his robe and his shirt, and he went up there and laid on top of his daughter and then instruct the guy to give 40 slashes. And so it killed him. And so when you say you're going to do something, do it. And then he still found a way to make sure that the punishment went through and someone paid for the justice of that happening. And so the guy went, "Man, that's a heavy story." And he said, "Well, I gave you that story because a lot of people never understand the true story behind Jesus' sacrifice for us."
Right.
And the guy went,
Yeah.
it's like we've all sinned and fall short,
Mm-hmm.
but instead of us getting the whips,
Right.
someone stepped in for us.
Yeah, we can understand it when it hits close to home.
Yeah. And again, that brings back to the whole concept that when you're promoting anything, come from the story side, tell each other's stories, get to know, as we get more and more stories and people will be able to share those. Nothing, Deborah, ever, nothing beats personal testimonies. Nothing.
Well, and I'm really strong with stories on Facebook. My whole life history is on, for the last 20 years that I've been on Facebook, I tell stories. That's the best way for me to promote something is if I believe in it, I
Yeah.
use it, I take it, then I tell my story and I try and switch it up. Sometimes it just depends. Like I have I don't know, 11 half brothers and sisters that I wasn't raised with. So they're always like, "Tell me more of your stories, how you grew up."
Yeah.
I try and tell my stories and throw in whatever I'm selling or whatever. Yeah. So anyway, this happened to me. I didn't have a Munical back then, but
Yeah. But one of the things you'll notice too is that, to really, really get good and effective at telling somebody else's story. I don't know why. Telling somebody else's story allows us to be able to make it sort of more meaningful than
Yeah.
telling our own. And then the classic Jim Rohn thing I always bring up is it possible to tell the story in lesser words?
Yeah. I
You know what I
know.
mean?
That's
Yeah.
what I got to work on.
Yeah, it's like because for people like me, when I see a really good maybe tagline or something, and then I click on more, and I see it's the whole book that was copied in there. Now that's that's that's
Yeah.
probably not what it is, but that's the way it feels and looks to
Oh,
me.
yeah. Yeah, I do that too. I'll look at the more and then I'm like, oh, I don't have time to read all that. I wish,
I know, I
I'll
know.
come back to it, but I never come back to it. And I
Yeah.
know when I do that. I know. I'm like, you wrote too much again. And then I'm like, well, my sister will enjoy it.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
thank you, Deborah. Thank
Oh,
you,
thank
Deborah. But
you.
yeah,
Yeah. So,
the
but you didn't answer my question. Are we doing did you see the question? Because we have a Ask Robert questions now.
If you did that, I don't know where it is. I
Okay,
don't know
you're
where
not
I'm gonna
aware of
I've
it
speak with
missed
yet.
Matt
it.
about
It's
that.
brand
Yeah.
new. Okay.
So
Yeah,
that's
it's
why
there. It's
I,
under Grow, and it says Ask Robert, but I didn't see
Did
anything
anybody else
posted
do
there.
it?
Again,
No.
I will
You did
ask
it.
Matt
You did
more.
it, Coach Bob.
well,
Yeah,
well,
I'll ask
well, well,
Rob or
well,
Matt more
Okay. Well,
about that.
let Bob go next. I'm done.
all right. I love you. Have a great
I love you
Saturday. Have a great
too.
weekend. We'll see you tomorrow.
Okay, sweet.
Deborah, thank you, and thank you for letting us know about that because we need to know a lot about what is and isn't working in unlimited wisdom to make it gooder and gooder every single time. I'm sorry you were muted, Deborah. Hold on, let me unmute you one more time if you wanted to share something.
Oh, sorry, Robert. I do have a circle for the greatest miracle on earth. I created one, and you can either do the 100-day journey with us or just read along. I've got Wanda Kay that I got from you, the whole
Oh,
playlist. That some people joined, and some want to do the just the book reading, and some want to do the 100 days. So I started that circle.
awesome. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. I'm
Thanks,
done now.
Deborah.
You can.
Yeah. Okay. Love and appreciate you, Deborah. Thank you so much. Coach Bob, you're coming up. I just got one more question here from Melody. So thank you very much for your patience. Um, Robert, Melody asks, what's one question you think we should be asking ourselves that most people never think to ask?
Ah,
Mm.
that's a good one.
Wow. Melody, you're dropping some really good knowledge bombs here. So,
The
Robert,
first, yeah. Thank
go
you.
ahead.
Thank you, Melody. Um, the very question that I would ask me, I love asking, questions to God and listening. Um, and as I'm doing that, I would ask that question. Most of the time when I pray, like even as a grateful, you could say, I thank you for the sunshine. I thank you for another day. I thank you for a great night's sleep. I thank you for, the enjoyment of being healthy and having energy. And then to very simply say, I'm very, very happy and I'm grateful for all the things I don't know that I should be happy for. Right? So we all know the obvious ones, but so I do that as well, Melody. I just say, you know, give me, give me the wisdom. It says that if you first pray for wisdom, that all things will be added onto you. And so I just not only ask for wisdom, and then I say, I believe and I receive that, and thank you for it. And then the next thing that I'll say is, help me be aware. I surrender all, but help me be aware of what I should be focused on, what I should be asking, what I should be thinking about. So um, that I do that all the time. I most of my prayer time and my quiet time is listening instead of talking. I'm really I'm very, very, um, I'm very, very, makes me emotional. I'm very, very proud on how good of a listener I'm being. It's like, I've defeated that conscious deal in my head that wants to interrupt everything. It's like my mind and my spirit is more quiet than it's ever been by me practicing that. Just allowing the thoughts to come in and go by and not focusing on them and being aware that I'm asking for a path to follow and I get it. And I'm doing it more now than ever because there's two things that I could talk about, Melody, every day when I'm live. I could be talking about what I thought that we should talk about, or I could be led. And I'd rather be led. So that's when you start going, nah, that's me coming up with an idea of what I think would be great to talk about instead of, and usually, not usually, I'll take that word out of there. Virtually every time, if you guys have watched me in the last year, literally everything that I discuss are things that I'm asking about. So it's pretty interesting that I ask a question, like it could be just as simple as what is heaven? What is heaven? And then all of a sudden I start pushing in on that, and then I track the things that I need. I ask more questions, and then the next thing I know, I got a lesson. Because it is very interesting to me when you talk about drifting, that when you talk about a higher power, or you talk about God, or you talk about, heaven, or you talk about things like this, maybe even going crazy and talking about the adversary or Satan or the devil. It is weird that religion, organized religion, wants to put an image in our mind. Isn't that interesting? Because that's logically how you would explain something to someone. See, logically is let me draw a picture of it. Let me draw a graphic of it. But if we're talking about heaven and we're all uniquely created with our own DNA, then we're all going to experience something different. And that's what I'm going to dive into tomorrow. Because it's like there's a lot of people on the planet that don't believe there's a heaven. But if you really explained it to them and then explain hell to them, they would say, well, I don't need to go to hell because I'm living hell right now. And the best phrase that I've heard of that, I think, was from Zig Ziglar, where he said, listen, how many people are currently experiencing going through hell right now? And people raise their hands, and he goes, here's what you do. You keep going. If you're going through hell, don't stop. Just keep going. Go through hell. Don't stop and talk to people. Don't make any friends. Just keep moving. It's a great, great phrase. So, Craig, back to you. Melody, I hope that helped.
Melody Ryba, thank you so much. Great questions. This is good.
Yeah.
Ask Us Anything today. So thank you all for participating, those that have so far. All right, let's go ahead and go straight over to Coach Bob Johnson. Coach Bob, there you go. Please unmute yourself and share with us.
Thanks so much, Craig. Hi, Robert.
Hey, Coach Bob, how are you today?
Good, wonderful.
Good.
Deborah Bronner, just keep up the swimming. I know it's going to help you out a lot, and it seems like you're meeting a lot of friends. That's wonderful. And the other Deborah, she just does wonderful work. Deborah Grady, her graphics are just awesome. So my question to you, Robert, is Unlimited Wisdom. I know you guys meet, with Matt, and and he's put a lot of new stuff in here. I mean, he's even going faster than you can even.
I love that people assume that me and my son spend time together. Uh, he is he is running wide open on the path that he knows that he's got to do, and I very rarely talk to him.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, he's doing wonderful work. I was just wondering, where do you think the direction's going in a year from now? Because there's a lot of new stuff. I would assume he's talking to you on, or I had thought he was, but could could you kind of see your vision where it goes a year from now and how we're going to get these people in?
Yeah,
Just
I know I know this with all my heart, Coach Bob. Everything in my fiber in my body is if you become what you're gifted to become, then everyone shows up and finds you. It is the biggest statement of faith. If someone said to me, Robert, I don't understand how you built organizations of 758,000 people. It really is this whole concept of believing in imagination and having faith. There really is. So what a lot of people do, Bob, and I can see why you would always, default to this, is it seems to have to be like marketing, and it seems to be like it's got to be mechanical for you. It's got to be logical for you. And here's what's really bizarre is like whenever you run across like an individual that I recently seen this a long time ago, but it was a girl that I think she doesn't have like her right arm. She's a Vietnamese girl, and she plays violin. And when she plays violin, it just makes you cry. It's crazy how incredible it is. It's choking me up. And I'm going like, I don't even know in my mind where she thought or believed that she could do that. But what ends up happening to someone like that is when people do stuff and it touches your soul, it touches your spirit, it lights you up, and this sort of goes to Deborah's question. It's like when people are trying to promote unlimited wisdom and it's really based on them thinking and trying to be a marketer or come up with a good story or a graphic to get people there instead of learning to come from their heart and soul. Two different things. So how I've always attracted so many people is I know my gift. My gift is very simply, my gift is allowing God to use me to touch the heart and soul of other people and inspire them.
Yeah, you're like honey, Robert, attracting flies. I'm just telling you. I mean, just that analogy. People go to you, you know what I mean? Where
Yeah.
vinegar doesn't, So
Yeah. And other people, it's interesting because, me, I've seen a lot of people speak. A lot of people speak.
right.
And you can feel when the speaker and the person that's doing the speaking is just recanting stuff that has already been done. There's really, like I tell people, I brought up Zig Ziglar earlier today, right? The worst thing that happened to me, and this is just for me, everyone's an individual. The worst thing that happened to me is I watched Zig Ziglar speak for the second time. Because when I seen him speak the second time, I mentally, because God's gifted me with incredible retention, as I was saying everything that he was saying from stage at exactly the same time. I knew what he was going to say, when he was going to say it, what joke he was setting up, what point that he was, doing. And of course, I know I was studying different. If you guys ever seen my notes at the end of my time with my mentor, you guys would crack up because you wouldn't understand the notes at all. Not that it's just written poorly and I'm dyslexic, but I knew what he was going to say so well that I'm now watching his mannerisms. I'm watching, my notes are how long it takes him to walk to the left and then look across to the right, and how he walked to the other side of the stage and walked this way. And so I was watching how he walked. I was watching how he made, see what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Because I already know what he's saying. So this is like a race car driver when they know they're going to get past and they've already been lapped once. And now what they just do, they do their very best to just stay in the tracks of the guy they're following, because he's just so good, you know? And it's like, I need to figure out what line this person's running in. So the other question that you add, or in the same question, is where do I see unlimited wisdom years from now?
Right.
It will just continue to grow and grow and grow and grow, which will actually allow us to not only start doing live events, but it'll also allow us to be able to do, leadership and stuff like that, and like, like Fiji or Hawaii or whatever. It'll allow us to do big leadership events with people, because the skill that I would love to each of what one of you have is, Bob, there'd be nothing more rewarding to me than for you to be as confident as I am, and letting go and letting God, and changing someone's life forever. So that Maya Angelou thing, people will forget what you said to them. They'll also forget what you taught them or showed them, but they'll never ever forget the way you made them feel.
Right.
And so that's, and you guys are going to see more of this of me. It's like, me, I know that the things that I'm talking about right now with you. And so when people ask, how do you put that marketing stuff together? Wow, that just got downloaded to me. All right. So if you took the time or watched any of the chosen episodes, right?
Mm-hmm.
They didn't have telephone. They didn't have pagers. They didn't have cell phones. How in the heck did so many people show up to watch Jesus preach? How did that happen?
Telling one person at a time, I would assume.
They wasn't doing Google ads. They wasn't doing SEO.
No.
So the story that I can tell you that's very, very important is, I think we brought this up, or maybe I was just talking to Terry about this. You guys tell me if I brought it up. But it's the story about the lady that would always go to the well to get water in the middle of the afternoon, the hottest time. And so when she gets there and Jesus says, listen, could I use your jugs, you know what I mean, and your rope to get a drink of water? Could you help me with that? And she goes, apparently you don't know who I am. Because if you did, you wouldn't be talking to me. And he's like, I know exactly who you are. And that's why I am talking to you. So then after he explains that he knows, and she knows that he knows, and then she gives him water. And then he said, would you do something for me? And she said, I'd do anything for you. I know that you're the one. He goes, great. Would you go into the city and tell everyone that you met me? And tell everyone that I'm here? See, and so that's why that stuff happened. Sure. As he was moving around and speaking to people, and just, coming from his heart and just talking about his relationship with his father, it was like, and again, heaven's on earth. So I know where unlimited wisdom's going, because I'm stepping into that. A story that I heard today too, is I was explaining it to Craig, is if you guys really listen to the story of Jonah and the whale, it's sort of like the apple. Apple's not in the Bible, and neither is whale. It's fruit and big fish. Isn't that crazy? Yeah. But you can change one word and it changes the meaning very, very fast. So if you guys know the Jonah story, I'll shorten it up, but it's just very, very simple. Is God spoke to Jonah and he said, listen, I want you to go to this city and I want you to tell everybody to stop doing what they're doing because if they're not, I'm wiping the city out. You're the only shot they have. And he goes, well, I'm a foreigner. There's 150,000 people there. They're not going to listen to me. I'm not going to go there and get beat up and whatever. But, God told him to. So then he didn't. So then he gets on a ship and the storm hits the ship. And all of a sudden, everyone that's a leader on the ship go, the reason we're getting hit by this storm is there's someone on this ship that God told them to do something and they disobeyed. So now they go through all the people and they find Jonah and Jonah admits it. He goes, yeah, I was told to do something and I didn't do it. And they go, great. And they throw him off the boat. So the next step, of course, the big fish gets him. He's there for 3 days. And the 3 days that he's by himself, all of a sudden he mentally goes, I should do what God told me to do. And it was only through the repentance that the big fish spit him out. And then he went and did what he was supposed to do. And the city didn't get destroyed. So what's the moral to the story? Is when you hear God tell you to do something, you should just do it.
Right.
Because it's not going to make any sense for you to do it. No sense whatsoever. So the big groups that I built my whole life, the big followings that I built my whole life, the 1 million+ people that I've spoken in front of, there's no one, everyone always wants to know how I did that. They don't want to become the person that did that. I've never said that in my life. They want to know the steps. What videos did you do? How much advertising did you do? What's the SEO? How'd you do this? How you do that? How you do this? And then this goes all the way back to Melody's question.
Sure.
It's like, I mentally, so you guys know how much better I need to become. Because I constantly question everything that I'm doing. I'm just human. So I remember all of the time telling you guys, listen, I'm going to start doing lives and I'm going to do lives on every social media. And Coach Bob's reaching out, tell me when you're doing the lives, right? And then I'm going, okay, this is when I'm doing them. And then I go out and I start doing them and immediately got convicted. It's like, so I told you to do lives every day on every social media. No. What did I tell you? Speak to those that have ears to hear. So that's why one of the biggest pictures that I have in front of me all the time is the one with Jesus doing this. And he's just saying, that is not what I said. What I'm guiding you to do is you ask for my guidance, you ask for my help. And then because of your lack of patience and you wanting things to happen faster than they should, you do things you shouldn't do. I have the master plan. I know how this is going to happen. I know that you surrendered. And I know that you want to make an impact and make a difference. Let me guide your steps. So how deep was that?
Oh God, great, Robert. I love listening to you. I love the
Thank
stories
you.
too, the
Thank you,
Bible
thank you.
stories too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's what I'd even ask you to do. It's like when you look at, if you ever get in a place where you're not only confused and frustrated that maybe things worked in the past, but they're not working as good as they used to, but they're sure in the hell easier to do. It's always easier to do the things we've always done.
Oh,
And so um be very be very open and very sensitive to that, right? So it's like, because I know you're a believer. So it's like if you're grateful for your life and you're grateful for who you are now in the home and the ability to take care of your mother and your family,
right.
and you're not hurting for money. It's like God's probably in your eyes. You probably look like God's really really done well by you.
Yeah.
And so when you look at that and you sit there and look where other people are, and then it's like, man, Bob, you haven't done anything yet. And the things that I need you to do and the way that I want to guide you is not only going to reap bigger harvest, but they're going to be simpler and easier to do. So then you go, all right, I surrender. I'll do it your way. And then the very next day you start doing it your old way.
Habits are hard to break, Robert.
Uh, You're looking at someone, right?
Right.
Yeah, there's so many people that in the old way that they do business in the network marketing world, the affiliate world. I had Josh Wagel reach out to me today, just totally random. And he's like, "Hey, I'm building a new $1 billion run page, and I would like you to be one of the success leadership stories on that page." And I said, "No, thanks. I'm not interested ever in promoting a page like that." And he came back and he said, "You said this to me before." And I go, I'm serious now. No, I have a Facebook group with 40,000 people in it. It took me a year to put 1,800 people in a school. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like the way you did things in the past is not the way to do them in the future. And it's just like the internet concept. It's when Bill Gates came out and wrote the book, The Road Ahead. And he says there's only going to be two businesses, businesses that use the internet and businesses that are out of business. And so they tried to use that excuse for AI. And then Jeff Bezos comes out and says, that example doesn't work. He goes, it'd be like whether or not you choose to use electricity for your business. He goes, there's no one on the planet right now that would say, just take my electricity away. I don't need it for business. And he goes, we got the people that are waiting around because it feels uncomfortable. And then we got the other people that are doing their best to dive into it. And that's why Matt and I are not talking.
Oh, I'm sure he's busy with all the work he's doing.
It's just
crazy.
It's just his head is so focused. And then it's not that we don't chat back and forth, right. But every new model of every new source and open source that pops out, he's like on it, like white on rice. He's got a little bit of that fear of loss that he doesn't want to be left behind. You know what I mean? So because it's weird that it's sort of like internet speed. You know what I mean? That just downloaded to me. It's like you're talking to a person that says, I'm on internet. And you go, really? And then you hear that it's like, it's 9,800. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like, I'm on internet. You're like, that's not freaking internet. Here, watch this, 1 gig, 2 gig. This is internet. But the people that don't have it don't know they're missing on something.
Right.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
And so that's where I think that Matt is right now, or not think, I know that these models are coming out very, very quickly. He's around a bunch of people that are using the similar models. And I believe in my heart and soul, my spirit, that Matt just needs to jump to storytelling.
Yeah.
But the rest of his life is all wrapped around, but I need to make money for my family. I need to make money to take care of Ezra and Hannah. And so he's constantly just, so while he's trying to learn all this, it's like, people reach out to him and go, hey, I can't get this one thing to work on on this, or is this working? And it's not that you shouldn't be asking the question. You just he'll get to it the best he can.
Yeah, and I know how he is. I don't want to bother him ever. You know
No,
what I mean? Because
I don't either.
I know how it is when you're focused on something. You're just in that. That's all you're focused on, right?
Well, and the other three things that are so important about that is he's got zero resistance. This is definitely what he was called to do.
Yeah.
He's really freaking good at it.
Yeah, he is.
So I think the hardest thing about Matthew right now is learning how to be focused on what you're called to do, and not be in a position where you feel like you're letting people down. Because the real people that love you want the best for you. They want you to go out and do whatever you need to do. And then people are like, yeah, but I haven't seen a template come out, and you know what I mean? It's like it is pretty interesting because you get to find out where people are. It's like, I love what you've done for me, but what have you done for me lately? And Matt's like, hey, if you really cared about me, you'd be asking me, hey, where are you on these stories that you're going to win the $1 million with Higfield? You know what I mean? That would be
wonderful.
Yeah. So thank you, Bob. Anything else?
Thank you. Love you. And we miss Terry. So that's about it. Yeah.
Not as much as I do, but
I know it. You're the best. Love
Thank
you guys. Have a
Love
great
you too.
weekend,
Have a great
everybody.
day, Coach Bob. Great questions. Great questions.
Thank you so much, Coach Bob. And I think after that, we're going to call it a day here on Ask Us Anything. We had some really good stuff to share and to ask and to discuss. And big shout outs to Coach Bob, Deborah Grady, Melody Ryba, and Deborah Bronner for bringing those out. And that's the whole idea behind Ask Us Anything. You ask, and we in the community will do our best to answer. And like we did today, we did. So bless you all and thank you so much. There's some things in the chat, in the meeting chat for Zoom. If you want to save that information, please click on the three dots in the meeting chat and then click Save Chat. It will download to your computer as we conclude. And thank you again for joining us and taking time out of your busy schedule on this Saturday. Don't forget tomorrow, noon Pacific, 3 Eastern, Master's Mind or Master's Mind. And the topic is Heaven on Earth. So we'd love to have you join us there. Thank you so much. Until next time, please be good to yourselves. Be cash. Bye-bye. I'm going to go ahead and unmute so we can all say so long and have a super Saturday.
Thanks again, Robert. Love you, man.
Thank you, Coach Bob.
You
Thanks,
too.
Star. Thanks,
you,
Melody.
everybody.
Thanks, Faith. Thanks, Deborah Grady. Hi, Dustin.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Robert.
Lisa
Great being
Marie.
here
Tell
today.
Freddie hi.
See
Give him a
everybody.
hug.
Yeah, hopefully Fred's doing well.
Thanks,
Bye.
Ben.
Prayers for Freddie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
prayers.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Robert.
Deborah, for
Thanks.
jumping
Thank
on.
you.
Michael and Angela. And, of course, the hostess with the mostest, Craig Jackman. I love you, brothers. Thank you so much.
Love you. Take care, everyone.